So please, God, don't
God.
that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's a big mental day. Tomorrow we'll have a kind of a modified practice, but that's pretty par for the course, I would say, for most teams this time of the year, especially when you're on a short week. You want to get them the plan as quickly as possible, and so they have a time to digest it. And we all know the magnitude of this game. It's going to be a great challenge for us in their house. Just saw them 2 weeks ago, so it should be pretty exciting.
That's head coach Matt LaFleur yesterday at Lambeau Field, talking about a little bit of a mental day for the Packers yesterday. And then today, getting back into whatever practice looks like with an injury list like they have at this time in the season. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We're in those studios, and we are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I paused there, Josh, because I thought you were going to jump in about the time of year and the injuries and just all the things
everyone's
that
hurt.
are against the Packers. Yeah,
everybody's hurt. It's brutal. It was brutal seeing that initial, start of the week injury list, and it's like a phone book. It's just everybody.
Yeah.
And remember phone books? For all you kids out there, they used to have all the phone numbers in a book. And then, I don't know, people used them to start fires, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they're used for anymore.
Right? There was a thing called a TV guide, too.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you used to get those in the mail, and they used to tell you what was going to be on the channels that you actually watched versus all the channels that you have now that you don't watch, but you pay for anyway.
That's right.
I had a whole conversation about that yesterday and how we all cut the cord, and we forced the NFL to do what they're doing with some of these games. Is it the Ravens game is only on Peacock? And then you can get it on TMJ4 and NBC 26 here in Green Bay? I think so.
I've gotten to the point where I don't even plan ahead. I just, in that moment, it's, all right, Google, where do I have to go to watch this? And that's how everything. Sports, non-sports, it's, what is this on? I don't know. I can't keep up. Internet has to tell me.
If I was to do the math of inflation, which I do not have the ability to do, I don't even know how to start that equation.
Yeah.
But if we could go back to when we cut the cord and just do the math to what that would cost us today versus what we're talking about with all these fees and the streams and all that, I guarantee it's more today.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's disgusting. It's disgusting where we're at.
But you can't switch back because you still have to have Peacock to watch this and this to watch that and crazy.
Yeah, we can't go back. It's gone.
All right, let's jump in. Let's play catch up. One of my favorite segments of the show. We lay out today's show for you. Plus, we go Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, and anything else that's top of mind to set you up for today. First, Packers. Breaking news. This is a big game. Here's Coach Matt LaFleur.
We all know the magnitude of this game. It's going to be a great challenge for us in their house. Just saw them 2 weeks ago, so it should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, should be.
Should be. Oh, we're good. You're there already?
I'm for those answers. Look, I don't even know what I expect from him, but just people were talking about this game literally since the end of Bears-Packers round one. People were just ignoring the Broncos all last week, already focusing on this game. And the narrative has changed so much, and yet not at all. And it's so crazy. It's just all so crazy.
Because this is the Bears, and because we still have our own destiny in our hands in regards to the division, is it easier to flush the Broncos game, even though, right, the injuries and the things, but to me anyway, it feels easier to just move forward. All right. Everything's in front of us. Rashawn Gary said that yesterday. We still have our pen in our hand. We still get to write our story.
Yeah. I mean, when you break it down, it's simple, right? It's, you don't have to rely on other teams. You don't have to rely on, and then if this happens and then we have a shot. You're right. At the simplest form, the Packers still get to decide that. But unlike prior to the Broncos game, now we have all these questions, which a lot of them while asked to Matt LaFleur, came up with answers of, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's wait and see. What about this guy? Yeah, wait and see on him. Okay, I heard that wasn't a serious injury. Yeah, we'll wait and see. It's like, okay, all right. Well, that doesn't make me feel great.
I was talking with some family about this very thing yesterday and how Matt LaFleur refuses to tip his hand whatsoever. Whatever the NFL requires him to say, requires him to share, that's all we're getting, especially this time of year.
I don't mind that he plays that chess game, right? Because the other team's listening too. But as you know, as a fan, I'm like, oh, but I really need to know.
No, how is Christian Watson? You know,
we'll see. Yeah.
Is he going to play?
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I guess we will see.
Okay, and that's how he ended yesterday's press conference. Was you all are going to wait and see exactly what we look like on Saturday night. Cliffhanger. Have a good day, everybody. I'm like, okay, all right. And then we heard from Rashawn Gary in the locker room yesterday, and he is ready to go. He talked about how they can write their own story, how they have to be the ones to step up, and it's 1/11th. He kept saying that. We just need to handle our 1/11. We're 1 of 11, and if we can handle this 1 of 11, and he can handle that 1 of 11, it's kind of like marriage in that people say for a long time, marriage is 50-50, right?
Yeah.
No, it's 100-100. I'm going to be 100% responsible for me and me bringing 100% of what I have to this little relationship here that's fairly important in life.
Sure.
And I want you to do the same. For Amanda and I, that changed everything. Because it was like, well, what 50% are you doing? Well, what 50% am I? I don't know. I feel like you're definitely doing more than 50% right now. Or maybe it's just the 1/11th. I'm in charge of 100% of me, and I'm going to show up 100% of me. That's kind of a cool way to look at how we're going to fill the void that is Micah Parsons. Everybody take on 100% of themselves, and together we'll be great.
Yeah, I love it. I love the talk. Now walk the walk. Do it. And that's the scary part, right? Is that when you had Micah Parsons, if someone wasn't taking care of their 1/11th, Micah Parsons was making up for it.
Yeah.
There's no more room for someone to not pull their 1/11th. Everyone has to pull their 1/11th.
There's also a bit of a mental side to Rashawn Gary that I wonder if he's going through. Like, he was the hottest chick in the room all of training camp. Everybody was looking at Rashawn Gary like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
This is going to be, you're back. We got some other people, but hey. And then all of a sudden, right before the dance hits, the doors swing open, and here's a bombshell
and
walking.
Everyone just slow motion turns, and their jaws drop to the floor. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Look at her. Woo! Yeah.
Then she leaves the party early by herself. And everybody goes, oh, hey. Right? It's getting late at night. Hey.
Yeah. Yes and no to that part. I feel like the difference is I feel like Rashawn Gary has already been at the club. This isn't the first time you saw Rashawn Gary there. And so you kind of were like, well, I don't know. What's she wearing tonight? You know what I mean? like I feel like there's it hasn't always been with Rashawn Gary, especially even going into training camp of us being satisfied with Rashawn Gary's play. It was okay, this is the time we need to see Gary and LVN step up. We need to see them doing something different. We need to see more out of them. We haven't seen that yet this year, and now we need to. Now the spotlight's on the dance floor, and everyone's staring at you, Gary. Dance.
Right. Dance. Just dance. All right. So we'll talk a lot of Packers today. We have a lot of Packers conversation with a few guests later on in the show. Of course, we'll have Doug Gottlieb, who we always talk to Packers, Brewers, whatever's top of mind with Doug, we'll talk about. And frankly, whatever's top of mind for him, we'll talk about. And that's what makes it great. We also have former Packer wide receiver Bill Schrader joining us at 7. He knows what the NFC North is like, or the NFC Central back when he played. He actually was on the Lions for a bit, you might recall, after being here in Green Bay. And clearly he had some battles with the Chicago Bears. We'll be able to ask him what that looks like. And then we check back in with Chicago and Caitlin Sharkey from WGN. Caitlin spent some time here in Green Bay, Josh, at WBAY. I know we crossed paths a couple times, but that's fascinating too. And I know that you had chatted with her prior to the first time we played the Bears a few weeks ago. I was out that day for the old like C Papa Kappa thing, figuring out if I'm doing well on that or not. But I listened back to it, and she's really good.
Yeah, Caitlin's great. I love her. I'm glad that she's able to come back on. And to this point, she's predicted everything right. She called that the Packers were going to win that first game, and she said that she thought that the two teams were going to split the series. Now I'm hoping she's wrong.
Right. Moving on to the Brewers for a second, there was some chatter yesterday about our buddy Freddie Peralta and whether or not he is staying in the news for the good reasons for the Brewers or the bad reasons. Clearly, he's on the trade block. Listen to this piece that MLB.com put together.
Freddie Peralta, big-time energy. This guy's 29 years old in his prime.
Here is the most overlooked, underappreciated ace in Major League Baseball.
Couldn't agree more.
Fastball Freddy's. You think you're on it, and it goes boom, and jumps on it.
Like it has another gear to it. Just boom, it's there.
Got him.
Freddie Peralta has had a monster year in 2025.
Did you hear that? The most overrated or underrated, overlooked pitcher in Major League Baseball. Is that true? Is that how we feel about Freddie Peralta?
No.
Tell me more.
I don't think that's how it, when Freddie, if you look at Freddie's stats, they're way different than when I watch Freddie play baseball. When I watch Freddie take the mound, I think a lot of baseball fans and Brewers fans feel this way. You're nervous, especially in those first two innings, right? And I think that's the difference between a fan of the team that he plays for that's watching him pitch every fifth day and national media that's looking at his record and going, oh, yeah, look at him. But he's third in Cy Young voting. He's had 15 wins and all these other amazing stats. And all of that is true. And Freddie's a great pitcher. I'm glad he's still on this team. But, it is nervous to watch him when he comes out the gate and your team's playing from behind to start almost every game he pitches in.
First inning Freddie.
Right. So it's hard for me to have that glaring red flag on him and then say he's the most underrated, unappreciated pitcher in the majors.
At the winter meetings, reporters asked our skip, Pat Murphy, if Peralta was going to stay. His response was interesting. Here it is.
I mean, you got to look at that whole situation. I hope that he does, because I love being part of his career. I've seen him every pitch in his big leagues he's made, and it's personal to me that I love the man, and I hope he's a Brewer.
Did you hear him say yes?
I sure didn't.
Did you hear him say no?
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. I love the land of the gray. So fun.
Well, of course. First of all, that decision is not up to Murph, right? So that's step one. Step two is I don't think Murph's an idiot. He's well aware that Freddie's going to get paid. Freddie's going to get paid a lot more than the Brewers are going to pay him.
That's exactly what he said prior to that question, that Freddie's going to be a very wealthy man and will be able to buy whatever he wants, wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Want some acreage? You can have it. Beachfront property? It's all yours, Freddie. I have a would you rather question about Freddie Peralta and where he lands later in the show on this Would You Rather Wednesday. The Brewers have a lot of recent history of trading pitchers ahead of their final year under club control. Right now, he is under club control. He's owed $8 million, and then it's going to get interesting. MLB.com is doing a great job of following through on some of these conversations here in the offseason. We call it the hot stove, right? Not quite spring training, still in December, but there's meetings happening. There's conversations happening. Isaac Collins, Nick Mears, like all of the things behind the scenes are still happening for our Brewers. It's just when is it going to pop in front of our face? Check out MLB.com. Adam McCalvey, follow him on Twitter. They do a great job of giving us all the Brewers news that we could possibly need.
True.
Reminder, Badgers volleyball tomorrow night, 8 p.m., ESPN, the Final Four. Kansas City, Missouri, taking on Kentucky.
Yeah.
Remember the last time a Badgers team played Kentucky in the Final Four?
Ooh, okay.
It went good.
It went really good.
I
was gonna say, if it's been a while, right? It's been a minute. So just a reminder, the Final Four means if they win this game, they play for the whole thing. They play for the championship. So it's a big game.
The Natty. I was in Las Vegas when the Badgers beat Kentucky in the Final Four last time. I lost myself.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Not a great place to be.
Yeah.
Bucks. On my show notes, there are 2 question marks.
Yeah.
And here is my question.
I was interested.
I'm completely checked out on the Bucks, which is a problem because along with you, I host a morning radio show that talks about sports in Milwaukee, Green Bay, Wausau, and Duluth Superior. Are you there in Milwaukee staying tuned in to the Bucks, or are you like me and dare I say a lot of us in the rest of the state going, I'm good?
The conversations and the attention the Bucks are getting is all off the court, which is never a good thing. But it's all about what's going on with Giannis, what's going on with the rest of the team, as far as who's going to get let go, who's being brought back, what is the organization looking at bringing in, are they buyers, are they sellers, where is the organization? Nothing about what's happening, from rim to rim at all.
So that's my point. Do we as Bucks fans, are we just chilling in the background going, well, I'll look at the score the next morning. I'm not going to spend all my time watching the game at night. But if news breaks, it'll suck us right back in.
Right. We're in a waiting period. We're in the waiting room right now. We're just waiting for the doctor to come out and give us the news.
Yeah. Doctor's late.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that also I feel like the diagnosis with the Bucks maybe changed. And so, we were expecting the doctor to come out and say one thing, and now the doctor's late, but we're expecting a different answer. And so that makes it all very interesting, but also something that's definitely making us turn our attention and give a little bit more focus to the green and gold.
So be it. Anything else, Josh? Did you have a good night last night? Did you do anything fun? I've got one quick story I'll share with you, but what'd you do?
Just hung out with the fam. It was a pretty calm night, which was nice. It was a nice change of pace.
Some family and I and my wife went out to dinner last night at a restaurant here in Green Bay called Pope's Pizza. They do authentic Italian pizza, authentic Italian food. I mean, amazing wood fire pizza. My buddy Chris Rohde said that was one of the best pasta dishes he'd ever had. So it came with all of those things and zero self-control. When they put down a plate full of fries, drizzled in whatever it was, lost myself.
Yeah. Could you use the term housed?
No, I housed.
Yeah.
I housed too much of the appetizers, like hand-wrapped mozzarella sticks, this giant plate of fries, and I'm like, because I don't eat much during the day. Because when I eat, I get tired. So protein shake after the show. I pound water throughout the day. I'll have a nice meal at night, whether it's at home or out. But I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you housed. Yeah. When you're using the word house in refers to food, you housed it. You ate it all.
You did good when you stand up and you stretch your back.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
That's going to hurt. Worth it. Check out
Good
Pope's
for
Pizza.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll remind you of that when you're starting to break by yourself here in about a half an hour because I'm stuck in the bathroom someplace.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, if you're wondering where Trevor is, well, he housed a pizza last night.
Housed Pope's Pizza. That's where he is. All right, I have questions. So too do you, Josh. There are numerous questions already on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. Get your questions in. More green and gold, more Packers, lots of Packers, Bears week. Here we go yet again. Reminder, this Friday, speaking of Bears and Packers, Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha presents Brat Bowl 3 at the world-famous Brat Stop in Kenosha all day live, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.? 670 The Score and the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. All of your favorite on-air talent staring each other down through probably a thick plate of glass.
I hope so. I would hope so. There's got to be some separation.
What could go wrong? Remember, if you're headed out that way, new or gently used coats to donate to Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha's annual coat drive. Brat Bowl 3 this Friday, 9 a.m., the iconic Brat Stop in Kenosha. Brought to you by Ziegler Subaru of Kenosha. For a great experience, visit ZieglerKenoshaSubaru.com and by Siding Unlimited. Visit SidingUnlimited.com for their honest price guarantee. you're a Bears fan. You feeling good about this weekend or not? That's a question we'll answer.
You should be.
You definitely should be, but it's kind of like, don't overlook this one. And I feel like the Bears maybe are overlooking this one because the Packers sure ain't this time around. I Have Questions is next. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. A reminder, you can listen to this show for free online on the Odyssey app.
What?
WNFL here has its own app that you can listen to. And I know that the other stations on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network are also streaming us online. So just know that if you're running out of radio signal itself, you can always hear us live on your device. Plus, you can also catch the podcast after the show. If you missed part of the show this morning or yesterday, or if there's a favorite segment like Doug Gottlieb coming up at 8 o'clock that you just can't miss, open up whatever podcast platform you listen to pods on and search Inside Wisconsin Sports, and there we will be. Josh, I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Get your questions in. Josh and I have a crystal ball, and we will have the answers for you. We promise.
That's quite a promise.
We're going to answer the question.
Yeah, it might not be the right answer, but we have answers.
Right. Josh and I have one major question for this segment today, and you have a bunch already on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. The question Josh and I are asking ourselves this morning is, does this Packers team lack discipline? We saw it clear as a bell in the pregame against the Broncos. That was as chippy gets throughout that game on both sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And oh, by the way, the Bears won't be any better. That was also chippy. Here's what Matt LaFleur had to say about keeping thy poise.
You got to be smart. You got to keep your poise. I get it. Football is an emotional game, especially when you talk about Packers Bears. There's just a heightened sense of emotion, but you got to keep your poise at the end of the day, and you can't do anything that hurts the team.
Josh, are we not doing that very well this year?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. We aren't. And it was more than just a chippiness that happened prior to the game. There were a lot of dumb penalties and things that have happened. And if you look at the whole Keyshawn Nixon thing and who choked who and no flag, blah, 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 all this other, those are all situations that will hurt the team more than in the moment. And I understand that it's emotional, like Matt LaFleur just said. But this isn't the first time we brought this up this year, Trevor. I've said multiple times this season, I don't understand how someone can get paid millions of dollars to be in a set position, stay there, frozen, until they see a ball move. And yet someone says something or someone just gets a little angry and they do something stupid enough that affects the entire team. You're letting your entire team down because you have anger issues. You can't do that.
It's a rough sport, though. I mean, it's not like it's kumbaya. Hey, bud, good tackle. Thanks for knocking me down. Really appreciate it. Sure. Can't wait to try again. Over the last 2 weeks, it seems glaring to me, but yet the season itself has kind of been this way. There were 2 personal foul penalties against the Bears 2 weeks ago. One was a face mask by Aaron Banks, and the other, our guy Keyshawn Nixon, had one in that game as well. But it got worse against the Broncos. Mm-hmm. There were 3 unnecessary roughness penalties. One was Kingsley Enagbare, one was Javon Bullard, and one was Carl Brooks. And I felt like those were uncalled for too, because you're right. It's like, dude, nobody sees who hits first. Were you not a child? Did you not have parents? It's always the retaliation. Always.
Right. And we learned, right? We saw Quay Walker earlier in the season have one to where he was someone, I don't remember the player that was doing it to him, but someone was trying to get him to get upset, to get angry. And at one point they even tried poking him in the eye. And he just kept walking. And then that person got the penalty. And it was 15 yards for the Packers. And that was huge. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay, so you guys, during this season, you have seen the benefits of being able to keep your cool, keep your calm, and let the other team make the mistakes. And yet it doesn't matter. They keep coming out there and not doing it. And that's what makes me keep going back to, who does that fall on? Does that fall on the players, or does that fall on the coaching staff to have your guys in the right mindset and get them trained up to be in those moments and be able to handle it better?
That's the question, Wisconsin. The Packers team appears chippier than normal and slightly undisciplined. What do you think? The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Give us your answer on this. 414-677-1250. Is that on the individual player? Is that on that player's position room? Or is that on the coaching staff? Are they not talking about this enough? Josh, how many personal fouls do you think the Packers have this year?
Oh, boy.
Just take a guess. By the way, the NFL average
give me that.
across the league is 10.5 per team. That's the average.
Okay. I'm going to say 14.
Oh, you're close. 13. 5 unnecessary roughness penalties, 5 face mask penalties, 1 roughing the passer, 1 taunting, and 1 hip drop tackle. That was Micah early on in the season.
And now some of these, by the way, are in the moment penalties. They're not the dumb, undisciplined penalties that we're talking about, right? There are penalties that happen in the heat of the moment. Maybe even some are questionable calls that we're going, that wasn't a penalty. You know, those type of situations still exist. But the fact that the other side also still exists with the chippiness and the undiscipline, those are things that are preventable. And the reason why that's a big focus this week is because we've been talking about how there is no more room for error. None. You can't have any more stupid mistakes, whether it be penalties or miscommunications or anything. There's just not room for it. And the undisciplined penalties are killer.
The 808 says on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, it seems like if we get less than 10 penalties in a game, that's a win. How jacked is that?
Yeah, that means you're a pretty good team.
I put on Twitter during the game this past weekend, Josh, and I know you saw it as well. Number 9 for the Broncos. What's his name? Don't care. Did you see him attempt to bounce Jordan Love's head off the turf?
Yes.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
How do they not see that? That one bothered me.
Well, yeah, and I think there were reports that the NFL was going to fine somebody, blah, 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 for that missed, how they missed that in the game. And it's that type of stuff. And that's what makes it difficult, right? Because you see that happen and you want to react. I'm not saying you as a fan can absolutely do that. But as a player, you want to react. You want to do something else. But just because that person didn't get caught doesn't mean you won't get caught. And you have to think about the penalty way outweighs whatever you're going to do. You smack a guy in the helmet or something, which I'm sorry, if I ADHD mode. I never understood punching a guy now. Wow, he threw a punch to the helmet.
We're all wearing helmets.
Like, ow, that might have hurt you more than it did him. And it's a 15-yard. How stupid are you?
Well, but you want to talk about composure and poise to throw a haymaker when you're all in helmets. Like, at least in hockey, they take the gloves off and they're not wearing face masks. Now you get to go, okay, this is going to be fun to watch.
Right. It makes it a little bit like, all right, hey, at least this is going to hurt him a little bit.
In that moment, because when you say the word respectfully, Josh, you get to say whatever you want. I tweeted, I respectfully wish bad things for number 9 on the Broncos.
Yeah.
Respectfully. All right, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. The 920 says, when I played football in high school and somebody was talking you-know-what to me on the bottom of the pile, I just waited. And a few plays later, there we were, back in that pile, and I would twist their ankle, and nobody saw anything. So I wasn't dumb enough to get a penalty. I just waited for the right time.
I mean, I guess I prefer that if you're going to do it. But I don't know. I haven't played football. I don't know how you can. That makes it more difficult to be able to flip that switch of, well, I can do it now. I cannot do it now. Just don't focus on that period. Focus on the game.
Doesn't seem like we have the ability to switch that off. Justin from the Port. That's on coaching, period. No doubt about it. Packers' biggest enemy is themselves, it seems, even in this category. Josh, you've been saying that a long time. The only team that's going to beat the Packers is the Packers.
Yep.
And in possibly injuries from last weekend. I feel like those injuries, man, took that game changed. When Watson went down, it was like watching a team in the state championship in high school football and your star goes down, and it was Watson.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, geez, oh, God, oh, crap, oh, no.
Right. I still think that the Packers beat the Packers in that Broncos game. The Broncos kept giving Packers opportunities to stay in it.
The 920 says, is this a result of being the youngest team in the NFL? Is there not enough veteran leadership?
I'm so done with this youngest team thing. I understand they're the youngest team, but we've been saying they're the youngest team for 3-4 years. And I understand that we're still getting some younger players, but there have been guys that this isn't their rookie year. There's enough guys on this team who have played ball for long enough. That's not an excuse anymore.
The 414 says it's not on anyone. The team has a swagger, and they aren't the same old soft Packers. Some are bad timing, yes, but the good defenses have that nasty side. I'm willing to bet the Legion of Boom years ago had plenty of 15-yarders, and it didn't hinder them. Timing's everything.
Right. Hit them hard in a play. Hit them when it's legal. We have seen some plays through the season, maybe not against the Packers or for the Packers anyway, but where quarterbacks get lit up along the sidelines, but it's a legal play, right? Take advantage of that. Look nasty. Don't be stupid. If you look at some of those penalties against the Packers, against the Broncos, those weren't even like, ooh, that's nasty. It was like a quarter shove to the punter. Ooh, like that was so stupid. That's not labeling yourself as a nasty defense or a nasty team at all. I don't buy that either.
You can see that going back and forth. There was this and then that, and then I did this, and then you did that. Like in special teams to the punter, fairly bad timing. Like there's nobody else around you in that scenario. Jason on one this morning. Absolutely love it. Penalties are a result of poor conduct and should be fined by the Packers. That would curb things very quickly. That's one thing that we don't hear much about anymore is team fines.
Yeah.
Why?
I wonder if they do something, if there's something associated with what the Packers after the game in practice, if they get a letter sent, in their locker, hey, remember when you did that stupid thing 48 hours ago? Well, here's the bill. That'd be interesting to hear. I don't know.
It's not necessarily a swear jar either. You're not throwing a quarter in there. You're throwing like probably $2,500 in there. Sure. Jason in the 920 also has a question from earlier, Josh.
Okay.
And this is an interesting one because I feel the same way about Cubs fans. It's more of a statement. I'll give you this.
Okay.
Why do Bears fans suck so much? He says. Oh, we won a few games this year. Yay. Awesome. No, you're not. Now go lay down.
Yeah, I've forever have felt that way about Cubs fans. I've been like, man, you guys have been bad for so long. Why are you always coming in here like you're not? It should be studied by scientists. I really don't understand how the fan bases do it because I feel like us as Wisconsin sports fans are the complete opposite. It's like our teams are good, but if they're not great, we're like, everything sucks. Everything's terrible. How can this be? And the Bears win a few games. The difference in my mind is this year the Bears have something to celebrate. This year, in comparison to past years, the Bears are in it. The Bears more than likely are making the playoffs. That's a way different situation the Bears fans have been in for years.
You know how I know this is true, too, by the way? Because when the Brewers beat the Cubs or the Packers beat the Bears, anybody that loves a good laugh sprints to Chicago sports radio.
Yeah.
Just to listen to them
whine. They want to hear the pain. They want to hear the pain. I got one here on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line. Jordan, the 920 says, Jordan Love needs to get that swagger. He doesn't have that dog in him after the injuries and that happened with the Broncos. They never saw him firing anybody up, trying to jack anybody up. Just the same old calm, cool Jordan Love. He needs to show them that he is that dog. That's an interesting question. I can tell you who does have that dog in him, though, and that's going to tie into our most electrifying sound of the day, which is coming up next. We can discuss if Jordan Love has it.
Well, let's real quick, because we have a minute. It's an early would you rather.
Okay.
Dog or cool, calm, collective?
I can only pick one.
That's how would you rather works. This isn't your first time playing this game.
Cool, calm, collected.
I think so too. just because he's wild doesn't make him a good quarterback. I understand why that's attractive, but I would rather have cool, calm, collective, focused Jordan Love than Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady screaming at guys.
A team,
I never
a
thought
team
that
needs
made
to
us better.
have a dog. Someone on the team needs to have that dog in him. Not everybody in the team. If everyone in the team is that, aggressive, way out there personality, then it's balance. It's all about balance.
When we come back, the most electrifying sound of the day. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht. Time for today's most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
sound of the day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
I think it's harder to watch games than it is to play it. So for me, I'd rather try to contribute in some type of fashion, even if it's in a limited fashion, than just sit there and watch the whole time. So I've always had that kind of mindset.
Josh Jacobs talking about where his mindset is at going into Packers-Bears round 2 is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. That's what I'm talking about. We talked about like who has that dog in him. Josh Jacobs has that dog in him.
He does. He was walking around the locker room yesterday with a knee brace on that's like a stem.
Yeah.
Where it gives pulses and helps keep swelling down, sleeps in it, walking around in it. Been wearing it for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. And he wants to play. And he believes Coach Matt LaFleur trusts him to tell him whether he should be playing or not.
Well, he said that like they clash, right? He said that they've clashed a bunch in regards to should he sit and try to get healthy or should he play? And it's gotten to the point in which Matt LaFleur's just said, all right, I trust you. If you think you should go, it was great.
Jacobs proved it too. That helps.
Right.
When they clashed and he plays, he has a pretty decent game, including the 40-yard touchdown that he had this past weekend.
Absolutely.
So it's not like he's asking to play, pleading to play, please God help me, let me play. And then he takes one on the field. That was close.
Yeah.
And
careful.
He's playing well. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to hear from one of your veteran players right now, though, is that type of mentality. This isn't the time where this team can be cautious, right? If you want the rest of the season to matter, every game, but especially this game, matters. If you're hurt but you can play, you have to have the mindset of I'm going to play. If they'll let me play, I'm playing.
We're talking about whether Jordan Love should have that dog in him or not. And some people on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line say yes, and some say no. Here's an interesting one from the 414. Oh, you mean cool, calm, and collected like Joe Montana? I think he turned out pretty good. It's a good point.
Sure.
Also, somebody texted in and said, Trevor just said he'd rather have Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Just stop. That's not what I said. I want the cool, calm, and collective Jordan Love versus the attitude era screaming at his teammates, it's everybody's fault but mine, Aaron Rodgers. That's what I want in personality. Love of God.
Yeah, I think that it's all about, too, the leadership comes from more than one person, right? If you have a Jordan Love being the type of role he is, and I'm not just talking about quarterback, I'm talking about cool, calm, and collected. And then you have someone like Josh Jacobs, who's also not a rookie, who can provide more of that dog in him role, and you put them together, that's perfect. It's about balance. You're having both. So you don't need Jordan Love to also be that type of guy.
We were also talking about the chippiness earlier and how it can seem to get out of hand. Somebody here says, I tell our high school players, it's more demoralizing to the guy that threw a punch at you to just turn around and walk away because he knows he's beat now. Yeah. That's how you go after bullies.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is no different than bullying in middle school, high school. Like, the more that you give in, the worse it is for you. Just walk it off.
I literally tell my kids, if somebody's messing with you and they say something, just stand there and go, are you good? Anything else? Need to get I'll be here, but let me know when you're good, and then I'm going to walk away. That will A, piss them off more, and B, you keeping your poise is what it's all about. Because if you react, whether on the NFL football field or in the hallways of a junior high, the same thing happens. So keep your poise, Packers. Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah, and just like with bullies, the best way to beat them is to do it quietly. Show it on the field. Someone's talking smack to you, go and burn past them on a route. They're not going to be talking if they can't keep up with you.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. What questions do you have for former Packer wide receiver Bill Schrader? We all remember him as Billy Schrader. Turns out when you grow up, you're Bill. So today, Bill Schrader, number 84 on the 97 team that lost to the Broncos. I wonder how he felt about this past weekend's game. What questions do you have for Bill Schrader? UW Lacrosse. Packer, played for the Lions a second, even spent some time in NFL Europe. What was the chippiness like back then for the Packers, I wonder?
Yeah, that'll be a question.
Think it was a different ball game back in the early to mid 90s. Let's be honest, Jacked Up was a segment.
Yeah.
It wasn't called today's CTE hit of the game.
It was. It's a different game. It's a different game. Absolutely.
Different rules, different penalties, different reffing, different cameras. What questions do you have? The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. We are inside Wisconsin sports with Trevor and Josh statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Good morning to all of you in Duluth Superior on 710 The Game, 93.9 The Game in Wausau, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan in Milwaukee, and 99.7 FM WNFL in Green Bay and the Fox Valley. When we come back, Bill Schrader on Inside Wisconsin Sports. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't God that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It is. Brett Favre was being hit just as he threw it, and he threw a perfect pass to Bill Schrader. Here's Schrader. He's the outside guy. He's going to run a bend up, a little out and up, and then he catches the ball. It was a cover two, and he caught it between the rotated corner coming up and the safety coming over. And he really tightrope that sideline, too, didn't he?
The legendary John Madden. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that'll make you miss that. Miss that kind of analysis.
Probably on Fox, right?
Yeah, you think.
That was when it was. Listen to that audio. Josh and I talked about this off the air for just a second. It was like, that was normal back then?
Yeah, and it seemed and it seemed that way for way too long. Have you ever gone back and like just looked at highlights of the Super Bowl from 2010 and you see like how it looked in comparison to now? You're just like, gosh, I didn't even feel like this was that long ago. How is that what it looks like? Woof.
Interesting. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Those studios are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Our guy Bill Schrader is here, joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I finally got you out of a tree stand. Good God, man.
Yeah, sometimes when you're fishing and you're hunting, it takes a little time to get out of there, but I'll do anything for you, Trevor. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning. Good to see you, my friend. So, all right, it's Packers-Bears week, buddy. And you've got a little bit of history wearing the green and gold and going up against the Chicago Bears. And I know you still stay connected to the team and all the things that are going on. So a little bit of injury news, but ultimately give us your thoughts on what the Pack should do against the Bears this weekend to take part two from them as well.
Plain and simple, just win. I know everybody thinks that now that Micah Parsons is down that we don't have a chance, but they were a really good defense before he came in. And I think what he's done is taught these younger players and these other guys that have surrounded him for the last year about what it's like to win and how to play. And when he was off the field, I think they were a pretty darn good defense. Obviously, they're missing a big piece of that puzzle for the defense, but I think he is definitely shown these guys what it takes to work hard and how to play. So I think from a defensive standpoint, they got to shake off all the stuff that's going to come from the media and the fans about, we have no chance anymore because he's gone. But I mean, we've got everybody else is back. I mean, from what I've seen, you guys can probably tell me something different, but from what I've seen, almost everybody's going to be back for this game, including the Iron Man, Josh Jacobs.
Right.
Yeah, and but we just got done talking about how Josh Jacobs said it's harder to watch the game than play hurt, and that he's had a lot of clashes with Coach LaFleur on him wanting to play, and Matt saying, well, maybe you shouldn't. Can you talk to us about kind of the mindset of an NFL athlete and how they kind of gauge that difference between knowing, hey, now is when I got to shut it down, to no, I'm going to play even if I'm hurting?
This is great. I was hoping this would be brought up. I saw that interview with Josh, and, every player, boy or girl, man, woman, doesn't make a difference. There's a difference of playing when you're hurt or when you're injured. Injured means you really can't play. There's, doctors are telling you, look, if you keep going, you really risk some serious injury. But playing hurt means you've got something going on that you can play through it. Yeah, it's going to be painful, but it's basically when your parents say or your coaches say, suck it up, Buttercup, it's time to play. And some of these guys, and I'm not saying professional athletes, but there are some out there that just decide, look, I've already been paid. I don't need to go out there and play. I'm not going to do it for the team. I don't want to risk injury for my career. That does happen, unfortunately. And Josh Jacobs is the dictionary term of the opposite of that. Josh will go out and play through anything. And when you have a player like that, I can totally understand what Coach LaFleur is saying. It's like, dude, you can't play through every one of these things. You don't understand. So I think when players see guys like Josh go out there playing hurt, even sometimes playing when he's injured, kind of sets a tone for the team. It's like, look, if I'm making X amount of money and you're making a lot less than me, and I'm going out there and playing, you should do the same thing. We're trying to get to this ultimate goal and get ourselves a ring and win a championship here. It takes everyone. And when one person goes down, the next person has to step up. But when your top guy's only hurt and doesn't want to play, you kind of see that it's a revolving door and it keeps on happening. But there's a lot of guys that are playing hurt this year. And it's sad to see all the guys that are getting hurt and getting injured. But it's great to see how guys are stepping up and saying, hey, we don't have much time left. Now we have 3 weeks left. If we don't put it together now, our run could be gone for your career. And you just never know how long that will be.
Former Packer wide receiver Bill Schrader joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. What injuries did you play through, Bill? How many fingers are mangled on your side from catching rocket balls from Brett Favre? Oh, pinkies are crooked. A little bit.
Yeah, I broke both my pinkies. I had a screw put in my foot, which I couldn't play through. I had a broken collarbone, which sidelined me for 7 months, which I couldn't play through. But pretty much everything else I played through. Not that it matters, but a broken nose, many sprained ankles, knee issues. But those are things you're supposed to play through. The pinkies are bad enough. You make a living on catching the ball. And when every time you catch a ball, it hurts like somebody just hit you with a sledgehammer. You have to deal with it. That's what you get paid for. And, when you played with Favre, pretty much everybody broke a finger.
He broke them for you. Bill, obviously the other key player that people have been talking about since the Broncos game has been Christian Watson. It's still up in the air. We haven't gotten any official. It's we'll wait and see. We're all going to wait and see on if Christian Watson will play on Saturday against the Bears. Talk about the difference on this team, what Christian Watson brings to the team, and if he can't play, kind of how that mindset changes for the wide receiving core and the offense in general for the Packers.
Yeah, he's another one of those weapons you have to have out there on the field. It drove me nuts listening to the announcers when they were saying, now the deep threat's gone, now that he's not on the field. Well, if announcers can see that, obviously the defensive coordinators and the defense can see this too. So they start putting more pressure on Jordan Love and the offensive line, and that's exactly what happened in the game. So even though it's just a wide receiver, he brings a lot to the table to stretch defenses, to get double teamed, and that takes a lot of pressure off the other guys. And he's one of those guys, when he steps on the field, people notice. When you stretch defenses with his speed, it makes defensive coordinators open up their playbook even more on how to stop this. And number one, when you got a guy like Jordan Love, number two, you got a guy like Josh Jacobs, that's a 1-2 punch that a lot of teams have. But when you can pull in a receiver that makes people notice, that's a 1-2-3 punch. And that's hard to find in the NFL these days. And I think when Watson's on the field, I think it makes our other receivers better, because now, again, it opens up LaFleur's playbook on what they can do. They can do some of these jet sweeps and some of these other things. And I think he is a key issue on the offense.
You were on some pretty good Packers teams back in the day. Do you notice any similarities between some of the championship teams that you played on and were a part of versus what we're looking at this year with the Packers?
You always see similarities, but every team has its own vision, its own entities. I look at this one as kind of the same as ours. The first year we went to the Super Bowl when we played against New England and won. You can see it with everybody's vision, with the players, the staff. They walk around with a little bit of swag, like, yeah, we've got this. And when they get to a close game or they get behind, then it's like, oh, do we? What do we have to do? The second year we went to the Super Bowl, when we obviously lost and played against Denver, we had a swag like nobody was going to stop us, no matter what happened. And I don't think they're there yet, but I definitely think they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Every week, it's like if they win, they're a Super Bowl team. If they lose, now they're done. Nope, nobody cares. And it's that swinging door that hopefully a lot of these players aren't falling into the trap of watching or listening to. Yeah. Whatever happens in that locker room, that's on them. They're taking care of this job. All of us that are the bystanders, the 99.99% of people that know exactly what they should do, should step back and just let them do what they're going to do. And obviously when it comes to media people, that's their job. They're trying to tell people, yeah, this is what we think. And Trevor's going to say, well, I think Josh Jacobs is going to do this. And then when he does it, Trevor, hey, look at me. I told you he was going to do it.
It's exactly what he does.
When he doesn't do it, Trevor turns around and says, well, what I meant to say was,
wow.
And
you've been listening, huh?
Yeah, he knows you perfectly.
It's everybody. And that's what sells. It's fun to listen to. It's like, okay, I got to find out what Josh is going to say this week. I got to find out what Trevor's going to say this week. But the guys in the locker room have to know, what is my teammate saying? What are my coaches saying? And what am I believing? That's all that matters with these guys. And I think Jordan Love is amazing. He's got everything. He knows what to say. So it's kind of like listening to Aaron Rodgers. Every time he got on the mic, it's like, hey, I think we're good. We're going to get this. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. And he would get everybody to settle down. It's like, buy into what he's saying. And Jordan's kind of the same way. The only way that they're going to get everybody to believe in what they want to accomplish this year, and hopefully is the Super Bowl, is by beating the Bears this weekend. That's, if you you'll shut everybody up. You beat the Bears at their place and continue this legacy of just taking them off their pedestal when they're just about to look like they're going to go back to the playoffs.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bill, we also talked about earlier in the show, and we've been talking about it for a while. There's a lot of chippiness even before the game started in Denver. And then there were some stupid, that's what they were, penalties, just some unnecessary roughness. There was like I think it was in Barre pushed the punter and for no reason. And it had us talking about discipline and the things that happen on the field. And Trevor and I haven't played professional football, so we haven't been in that situation to where you have to stay calm and not be the person that gets caught or whatever, because that does greatly affect the team. Talk to us as a former player about how difficult it is, or why these guys can't seem to keep their head in it, and they are letting these penalties take over.
It's a big word of testosterone. I've been asked this many times. How do you keep your composure? How do you let loose? How do you lose your composure? You get asked that too. All of us have done this. And now it's like the microscope is all over you, because if you don't go to the Super Bowl, what happened? Well, so-and-so lost his cool. So-and-so got a penalty. That's what caused the rift. That's what caused them to lose the game. Why does this happen? Guys are playing to win. Guys are getting paid millions of dollars to play this game. The majority of these guys are playing because they want to see a ring. They want to win a championship. every person that comes out of college wants to play professional football. When they get that chance, they're going to play as hard as they can. They're going to do it for their teammates, their family, themselves. And then when they finally get to play for their city, it's all hands on deck. I mean, I got to play for the Green Bay Packers for so many years. And to me, every time I stepped out on that field, I felt like I had the weight of 70,000 people on my shoulders trying to win that game, let alone the millions of people that are watching the game. So I felt pressure to play for people. And some of these guys, they feel the same thing. They feel it's like, if I make a mistake, holy crap. And they can't control it sometimes. Sometimes you got a guy trash talking you. You're not playing a great game at the time, and you feel that the coach is going to yell at you, or the players are going to be ticked off at you for whatever reason. So it starts to build up. And it doesn't matter what position you're in. You're a quarterback, you're throwing interceptions. You're a receiver, you're dropping balls. It does make a difference. When those things start piling up, it's how does each person handle it? And sometimes when you can't handle it and you just explode, you let loose and something happens. And Coach LaFleur, you saw it with Nixon a couple of weeks ago when he got that penalty at the end of the, or towards the end of the game. And LaFleur, they followed the camera. Of course they do, because the camera's waiting for something to happen. And he let Nixon have it. And the guys that allow themselves to get yelled at and then move forward from it are the leaders of your team. The guys that scream back at the coach saying, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Not saying that Nixon did this. I have no idea what happened with the conversation, but I got to see how, you know, he looked at coach and he's like, yeah, you know what? That is stupid of me. I'm an aggressive player. I'm an emotional player. And, you know, you could see him telling that, it's like, let me play the way I want to play and I'll make the plays I made. Holy crap, what happened at the end of the game? He makes the game-winning interception. That's how guys come back from it. But it's kind of like what your question said. Why do guys do it? How does it happen? It's so much emotion going on in the game. Not saying the guys that are out there that don't have any emotion, and when they get speared in the back of the head, they just turn around and look at them and they walk away. Not saying they don't. They just have a lot better control. I'm guessing they've done a lot of karate or jiu-jitsu stuff and have sat down with their masters and learned how to control those issues. Because there's some of us that when somebody spears you in the back of the head maliciously and you turn around and look at them and they've got blood coming from their nose and their eyes are steaming, all right, game on, let's go. But some people know when to wait for the next play. Let's do it then. So you're seeing it. And again, I'll just throw it out there. Testosterone is the word, and it's there's a lot of it out there.
Former Packers wide receiver Bill Schrader on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Bill, one more before we let you go. You mentioned it there that you had the weight of 70,000 fans on you playing as a Green Bay Packer. You've shared with me in the past, and I'm hoping you can share it again here. Can you tell the story of what it was like the first time you walked out of the tunnel on Lambeau Field, and who happened to be right in front of you?
Yeah. Walking out in Lambeau Field, everybody knows it's like the hallowed grounds of any sports arena. And walking through the tunnel for the very first time, hearing the crowd echoing through the tunnel. And then once you finally get there, you know, I've got Reggie White and I've got Brett Favre and I've got these guys, and you're getting ready to be introduced. And all of a sudden everybody leaves the tunnel and I'm kind of sitting there waiting too as one of the guys to be introduced. And the crowd just goes crazy. It's deafening. It fills your heart with so much emotion that I want to play right now. I don't want to wait for the warm-ups to be done. I don't want to wait for the national anthem. I don't want to wait for the introductions. I want to play right this second, right now, because I will score a touchdown and run through 400 people right now. That's the emotion that I had the very first time. And, you know, I look back at that every time I watch all these players when they come out of the tunnel. Do they have the same feeling I had? Because every time I walked out of that tunnel for the 11 years that I played, I had the same emotion every time. I am very lucky. I am very blessed to be able to play this game and to play this in this city. And, there was nothing like coming out of the tunnel in Green Bay and having the fans cheering and screaming. And you just want to go out there and play to the best of your ability to bring a win home at Lambeau Field.
Bill Schrader, Packers wide receiver, back in the heyday of the Green Bay Packers. Hey, are you still policing people's socks and shoes on the sideline? Is that still your gig?
Yeah, I'm still the uniform inspector. Yes, I am. So it's
Tattletale.
It gets me on the sideline. It gets me close to the game to enjoy it even more. But yeah, that's a little gig that I got going, which is nice.
That's pretty fun. All right, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on. We'll have you back again soon.
You got it, guys.
Awesome.
Have a good night. Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.
Wisconsin
Thanks,
Sports
Bill.
Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. I love those stories so much, Josh.
Yeah, I loved his answers too. Just the perspective of not only former athlete but a former Green Bay Packer, kind of giving his perspective on all the things we're discussing as we're leading up to Packers Bears round 2. It's awesome.
Round 2. Ding. It's coming up next. But first, a little Would You Rather here on Wednesday. I've got some questions for Josh. Josh has some questions for me. Wisconsin sports, sporting life, maybe a little bit of food every once in a while. We can't help but talk about the weather here in Wisconsin. That's what we do best. Get your Would You Rather questions in and your answers to ours. This has been a really fun segment with all of you out there on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. 414-677-1250. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Great song. Love it.
Sure is.
Time for Would You Rather Wednesday, a time when Josh and I go back and forth a bit along with you on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. Would you rather sports, sporting life, a little bit of food every once in a while, kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, can I go first?
You bet you can.
The Packers line is 1. I just checked with Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's 1. The Packers are favored by 1. So it's a two-parter. Bears-Packers. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have a blowout or a close game in this game or the playoffs? So would you rather a blowout in which game, if you could choose, do you want it to be close?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, thanks.
I want the blowout to be for the Packers blowing the Bears out in the playoff game, because that's the one that matters most.
Perfect. I would love that too.
Yeah.
I'll predict that to be 27-0.
If they keep it close in this game, it'd make more sense to me. If I go, hey, yeah, they won, but they kept it close, I would go, yeah, because they had a lot of guys hurt.
Sure.
So that kind of ties into my first would you rather. A lot of guys on the injury report. If we're just picking 2, take Watson out of it, would you rather, you only get one back, would you rather have Williams or Tom?
Tom. Well, I love Evan Williams, and he's second on the team in interceptions this year, so he's clearly making a difference. But if Jordan Love doesn't have time, we're in a world of hurt with a Josh Jacobs that's a little banged up. Got it. Tacos.
Yes.
Hard shell or soft shell?
Ooh, both. It's a would you rather. Soft shell. Soft shell, just because of the mess. Eating a hard shell taco is a good way to make nachos.
What am I doing wrong? Soft shells are super messy for me.
Oh, no, the crack of the shell, and then you got shell falling everywhere. It's way more difficult to eat a hard shell taco. Would you rather keep Luke Fickell or Doc Rivers?
Oh, that's gross. Luke Fickell? I feel like Luke Fickell, based on all the conversations about Badgers football and all the things that they're doing. Listen, they found a trunk of cash someplace.
Yeah.
Even though it appears this week they're losing some of their star players again. So I'm not sure if this is fixable. But I'm willing to give Luke Fickell one more attempt. I think Doc has exhausted his attempts.
Give him one more shot. All right.
I don't want to, but you forced me. Josh, you are in the NFL. Look at you.
Finally.
Would you rather be a star on offense or a star on defense?
A star on offense.
Why?
Because the star on offense gets more recognition than the one on defense. Plain and simple.
It's whatever star you think the offense is the bigger star, so you want to be.
That's where the highlight is. When your playing career is done, it's a lot easier to find the highlights of the offensive plays than the defense. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that's the truth.
Valid.
Would you rather watch the Packers game on your phone at a kid's sporting event or inside? So the sporting event, like outside, like at an outside football game, you're watching the Packers game on your phone, or inside on the TV, but with your extended family during a holiday gathering.
Jeez, it's like we just talked about this yesterday because that's my future. I would say with a holiday gathering.
Okay.
Especially because the next 2 games, which I'll be at holiday gatherings, are going to be fun. It'll be a fun atmosphere, and I have a day to get caught up on all the details I missed because I was overserved and wasn't paying attention. That's 100% chance.
Fair.
100% chance. Okay, so I didn't know you were going to ask me the Luke Fickell question, and you didn't know I was going to ask you this. Jim Leonard was in the news based on his time with the Broncos and them playing the Packers this last weekend. If you had to pick, knowing Jeff Hafley very well may not be the Packers D coordinator next year, would you rather, if everything was right in the world, have Jim Leonard come back as the head coach of the Badgers or the D coordinator of the Packers?
Packers. I care about the Packers a lot more than I do the Badgers. And I kind of feel like that ship has sailed. Like I feel like
if it's sailed all right.
If Jim Leonard was there, then I'd feel like it's icky. Like now I wouldn't feel as good about it.
And remember now, he told the Packers no too. He was offered the D coordinator job from Matt LaFleur and said, mm-mm.
Yeah, that's true, but I still feel like it's different with the Packers. The relationship, the whole storyline, it's a little bit different. Packers Holiday Edition. Would you rather have normal game watching food during the Packers game or a big cooked holiday meal during the Packers game? So you look at like, all right, you're having your taco dip and some chips and whatever, maybe some ham and rolls, or like we had during Thanksgiving, you're having the big meal, big old meal, you're stuffed, but maybe you're not snacking during the actual game.
I am a stress eater. Either way, I'm going back up for more.
Yeah.
So I would rather graze, I think. It's one of my favorite pastimes is grazing for food. Love it. When it's stressful, there's not enough of anything ever. And I just sit and shovel it in. But there's a lot to be said about a holiday plate of food too. But yeah, I'm a grazer. I'll pick the graze.
Okay.
Freddie Peralta, would you rather? After the Brewers, whenever it happens, whether it's this year, next year, whatever.
Okay.
Would you rather see him in Dodger blue or Yankee pinstripes?
Yeah. Yankee pinstripes.
Yeah.
I'm done with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are in our division. If I'm having to face Freddie as a Brewers fan, if I'm watching my team face him, it means that we're in the World Series. So give me that.
He pitches the first inning.
Give me that. Yeah, fair. Hey, if you lost a bet, would you rather have to wear a Bears hat or a Cubs hat?
Did you see a picture of me or something?
No, I didn't, but I will tell you that there was a little wager made before Packers-Bears week or round one with John Kuhn and someone from 670 The Score, who it was, you got to, wear the opposing team's hat during the entire show the next time. And they never did it. 670 The Score never did it. And so I'm very interested to see how that goes at the Brat Stop.
Not good.
For the Brat Bowl 3. And it had me thinking, hey, Trevor, if you had a similar bet, which hat would you prefer?
This is a no-brainer for me. It would be the Bears hat.
Yeah.
So I lost a bet about 10 years ago, I think, a Brewers-Cubs bet. And I was forced to wear a Cubs hat for a picture. And that picture surfaces every once in a while. And if somebody is listening, I guarantee you that picture hits my phone in about 30 seconds.
Perfect.
I'm not telling them who, because I don't want to call them out in case they're on the phone or something like that. And
Jason 920, I need that photo. Thank you so much.
It was up here.
Oh, get it somehow.
So I will never, ever, ever I will never make a bet that makes me put on a Cubs hat ever again. It was disgusting. And frankly, I think I'm bald because of that reason.
That's fair. It's a fair argument.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, and in Oconomowoc or Oconto, we're not sure. Would you rather watch the Wisconsin women's volleyball team or the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow night? And then it says, I already know Trevor's answer.
Yeah, you should know everyone's answer. Yeah, it's and it should be, even if you aren't a fan of Badgers volleyball, the answer should still be Badgers volleyball. I got to, really quick before you keep going, I got to just say, right before we started this segment, I jumped out of my skin. There's a window here outside the studio. And Trevor, you familiar with the Elf on the Shelf?
Very much so. There's one. Seriously?
A life-size Elf on the Shelf just appeared, like jumped in front of the window during this segment.
What? Who is it?
I don't know. I almost crapped myself. Like I was like,
hang on, I'm walking away for a second. Hang on.
Oh my gosh, it was the most terrifying thing. I have no idea where this gigantic, moving, life-like Elf on the Shelf came from, but it was absolutely terrifying. And so, just if you're watching us on the YouTube or Twitter stream at WI Sports Radio, and you saw me to start this segment, kind of go, that was why. That was straight nightmare fuel.
Oh man, I have such great stories about this. There he is.
Yeah. Now imagine that, but 6 feet tall.
I don't know why there's an Elf on the Shelf in this studio, but can I tell you that we got to be careful with this if there's kids in the car? These elves on the shelves are tricky little fellas.
Yeah, they are. And sometimes they're gigantic, apparently.
That's awesome. I am so glad for any parents listening that know what I'm talking about, I am so glad the elf doesn't come to our house anymore.
Yeah, he didn't come to ours either.
He was tough to figure out where he was going to be next. I'll put it that way. You never knew where he was going to go. And sometimes the next morning, my wife and I would be like, oh, man, is the elf in the same spot as he was yesterday? That's not very creative. Pain in my ass. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The elf has never shown up to our house.
Oh, you need to buy or write a letter or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When we come back, your would you rather questions. Would you rather have an elf on the shelf, life size or short size?
Oh, that was what I'd pick.
Would you not rather have an elf on the shelf at all? If you know what I'm talking about. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, statewide. Look at us. Green Bay in the Valley on 99.7 WNFL, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee. 93.9 The Game in Wausau, and 710 The Game in Duluth, Superior. All right, Packers fans, time to roll up our sleeves and get after it. Here's Coach LaFleur.
We feel like we're very capable. You know, we just got to all work together and kind of roll up our sleeves and take this challenge on. And what an opportunity for other guys to get an op to go out there and perform. And there's a lot of excitement around that as well.
Josh, without trials, there can be no triumphs. And boy, do the Packers have some trials right now. The health bug has definitely bitten the Green Bay Packers, and it is time to overcome said adversity. But wowie, do we need so much? Do we really need so much adversity all at once?
Yeah. There's a meme. I don't know how meme aware you are, but it is where it's like,
call me old man.
I'm just saying not everyone speaks meme.
Okay.
But it's of like, God gives you the toughest battle, the toughest battles you can handle. And then it's like, how are you still alive? Yeah. And that's where it's at with the Packers right now.
So it made us think about when else have the Packers had to overcome such adversity in the time that the Green Bay Packers have been the Green Bay Packers, at least in our lifetime, right? The one that come to mind right away for me was the run the table piece.
Yeah.
2016, things were not well.
No.
Not just injuries, though. It was confidence. It was consistency. They were 4-6. And then all we got to do is run the table. And they ran the table.
They did.
What are some times that you remember they overcame?
That's the number one time for me that stuck out. And I know a lot of people were talking about the championship run in 2010. And if this is, the most similar situation, you got to remember too, that is a good one. 2016 is the one that sticks out to me. But the run where they made it was they were that just got in wild card. They were the team. There were no home games. That entire road to the Super Bowl was on the road.
Yeah.
And there were moments in every single game leading up to that. Interceptions, amazing touchdown passes, plays that we remember that team stepped up and got there. And it wasn't until, I want to say, maybe the second week of the playoffs that people started going like, okay, look out for this Packers team. They're firing on all cylinders. They got hot at the right time. Same thing could happen here.
It's what they're overcoming now, actually. It's a very, very good comparison in 2010. It was the who's left Super Bowl winning team. Listen to this list of injuries. Ryan Grant, Nick Barnett, Jermichael Finley, Morgan Burnett, Mark Tauscher, and even more. It wasn't the next man up. It was required.
Right. It was.
And they did it.
It was. You're who we have. There's no one after you.
2023 is an interesting one too. New starting QB, youngest roster, uneven start, and they caught fire late and then won a playoff game, I believe, at the Cowboys. Am I right on that?
At Dallas,
which is so awesome.
The only thing that I'd say that separates for me the other two examples from 2023 is the expectations. The expectations at the start of that season in comparison to the start of 2010 and 2016 were, we expected those teams to be good, and then they weren't, and then they got good again. The 2023 team, our expectations were not good. It was, they need a year to figure it out. This is Jordan Love's first run with this. We have to keep our expectations low, and then they just exceeded those expectations. So while I still think they face adversity, sure, you face adversity every year, I think that's a little bit of a different situation than the other two. And I do think, though, that 2010 and 2016 are very comparable to 2025.
Matt LaFleur had a comment after the Chicago Bears game the first time around.
Round one, yeah.
About resiliency. And it's eerie as all hell now, but it makes sense. Here's Coach.
You have to handle it the right way, and you got to just try to keep your head down and keep swinging and fighting and just going to work, And I think teams that are able to overcome adversity by doing that and sticking to your process, I think they're usually better for it in the long run, because there's a lot of confidence that goes with, or that comes with going through some struggle, whether it's football or life or whatever, and being able to just overcome it and come out the other side. And so I personally think that resiliency is the key to life, and you just got to keep battling. And we got a bunch of guys in there that are willing to do that. They're going to fight through the tough stuff and just continue to battle.
It was big time true then, and it's even bigger time true now.
Can we quickly talk about, though, that message from Matt LaFleur? Did him saying that surprise you at all? That came from him? I just felt like especially now when I'm listening to it in this instance, that I feel like a lot of times we give him crap for leadership and things of that nature. That was so well said. And I think that is, if that message is being communicated to the team, that's a great box to stand on when you're being the leader of men.
When we watch a game and there's a moment when we need leadership, like after Christian Watson went down, Josh, I don't know how you felt, but I felt like the Packers curled up in the corner and started sucking their thumb.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So when we need resiliency, it would be nice to see that resilient nature, that culture, that attitude, that dog show up on the field, because when that happened, they didn't.
Yeah, that's very true.
Here's a couple would you rather questions left over from last segment. Would you rather lose to the Bears on Saturday for the division or lose to the Vikings in the last week and miss the playoffs?
Oh, which technically both are possible, by the way.
Yep.
Like you could beat the Bears, but then if the Bears win 2 and the Packers lose 2, I still think you lose the division, I think.
Play the game.
I want to make the playoffs. I don't care. It's not the bragging rights. It's I want to make the playoffs.
I want to make a statement. I want to beat the Bears. So therefore, if I had to pick one I was going to lose, it would be the Vikings game to miss the playoffs. Because at that point, if we're still in a pickle on whether we're going to make the playoffs or not, we said yesterday with Matt Schneidman, the Packers would have to absolutely implode to miss the playoffs. And it's true. If we lose this week and we lose against the Ravens at home and we lose against the Vikings, I think that qualifies as an implosion.
Yeah, but also you'll regret that take. You'll take that take back.
Maybe.
Because you saying that is this game is the Packers Super Bowl mentality.
This game is the Packers Super Bowl.
It's not. It's not. Because after this game, there are more games. And the hope is that the Packers are going to make it into the playoffs. And then when they're in the playoffs, all of those games are more important than this game against the Bears.
I don't want just the playoffs, though. This is the important game. This is the biggest game of the rest of the season. It's to all but win the division. I don't want to back into the playoffs. I don't want to lose these two and somehow beat the Vikings.
But the question was, would you rather win this game or would you rather and lose to the Vikings and not make the playoffs?
Yeah, we answered that. And then you were like, well, you're acting like this is the Super Bowl. Yeah, I am.
Right, because if you are saying that you'd rather beat the Bears but then not make it to the playoffs, that means that this game is it. This game is more important to you than the Packers making the playoffs and playing a playoff game.
That's correct. Are you telling me how to fan?
I'm telling you that you can't that it cannot be the most important game of the season.
It is.
The most important game of the season is the one that determines if it's the last game of the season.
Dude, that wasn't the question. The question was, which game do you want to lose? The Bears and lose the division or the Vikings and lose out on the playoffs? My choice is I would rather lose to the Vikings and miss the playoffs if that's what it comes down to. I absolutely think that this game on the rest of the schedule is by far the biggest game of the regular season. And let's worry about the playoffs and the seeding and all that stuff when we get there. But at this spot on the schedule, dude, this is all but the Super Bowl playoff mentality that we need the Packers to have.
I understand, but they still have to make the playoffs.
Beat the Bears.
That's what's most important.
Not if we have to back in. My opinion, that's yours. We'll get Doug Gottlieb's next. Inside Wisconsin Sports on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's a big mental day. Tomorrow we'll have kind of a modified practice, but like that's pretty par for the course, I would say, for most teams this time of the year, especially when you're on a short week. You want to get them to plan as quickly as possible, and so they have a time to digest it. And we all know the magnitude of this game. It's going to be a great challenge for us in their house. Just saw them 2 weeks ago, so it should be pretty exciting.
Oh, it should be. And I think it will be. Hopefully. We hope it's an exciting game. That's what we want, right? What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh and I call this our favorite segment because you call this your favorite segment. No segment gets more input from all of you across the state of Wisconsin than this one. And so here we go. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all, the head coach of UWGB basketball and national sports radio host on Fox Sports every afternoon from 2 to 4, our guy Doug Gottlieb. DG.
Doug, are you there?
Loading. Do we lose him?
Hold on.
There we go. We got him.
There he is.
Hi, DG.
Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Okay. Would you rather hard shell or soft shell tacos? Ooh, sorry.
No, again.
Right out the gate, too.
God bless you guys. You're from Wisconsin. I was born in Wisconsin. But it all comes in how they're cooked, right? If it's like Authentico, where they're fried hard shell tacos, then it's hard shell 6 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Yes.
Most places don't do that. They just don't. Margaritas is excellent. So there's my answer. My answer is when you're at home, I always do the corn, and I make them, I fry them a little bit, a little olive oil, both sides. So at home I do the corn. If I'm not gonna get a fried shell, a fresh fried shell, then I go soft.
Man, I can't wait for cooking with Doug.
we can do that. Hey, things you don't know about me. I like to eat. I love to cook. The biggest flaw in my cooking is I do not like to clean. I don't like, and I'm bad at cutting. Feel like I should take one of those cutting classes where you like you watch people like dicing things up. Like I can't do that. I can't do it.
Now that's an art form.
Not only happy Wednesday, buddy, but happy game day.
It is game day.
UC Santa Barbara at the Crest tonight, I believe. I should be there as long as I got the venue right, I guess. Is it at the Crest?
Yeah.
Well, some of these games are at the Resch.
No. We play 3 in a row at the Resch. That's in I think late January, early February. So you're good.
You just put me off.
You're good. Look. Here's the deal. I'll say in the game. Okay. When I got here, obviously there's some schedule stuff we've had to work through, and the schedule we play is stupid. It's way too hard. And I don't think people understand what that means. So I'll explain. Okay. We have. This is the only home and home we have on our schedule this year.
Okay.
So we played in an MTE. All those teams, Yale is the top 75 team. They might be top 50. UMass is a top 75, top 100 team. And Iona is a top 150 team. They all bigger budgets, rated higher than us, whatever. Kansas is a bye game. We get a check for that game. There's like a 99% win probability before you ever play the game in that one. Buffalo was a bye game. They've lost a couple games here on the road, but they're in the MAC, bigger budget. It's not a home and home. And so, in an effort to get home and homes, I took the Santa Barbara game last year, which we were up 15, up 8 at the half. Anthony Roy broke his ankle, and we kind of fell apart. This is, I think they're 143 in the Ken Palm, but they didn't have their point guard. They were without two starters on Saturday when they lost to Utah Valley, who's very good, and they played them in Salt Lake in the Delta Center. So when healthy, and we believe they're fully healthy, like Aiden Mahaney was first team all WCC 2 years ago. He was at UConn last year. He's their leading scorer. He's a stud. They got dudes. Mira Little, who's their point guard, was at Baylor, Utah, and now UC Santa Barbara. They're picked to win the league. They're very, very good. And this is the kind of all I get around town is, man, I used to come to Brown County and watch Coach Bennett's team play and hey, if I bring a good team in here, and so far we've had Bradley, obviously that was an exhibition. We did play two. We played Haskell. We played the Haskell game as well, but played Robert Morris, who won our league tournament last year. And now you get Santa Barbara. You want quality basketball in Northeast Wisconsin. Hopefully it comes from us, but it definitely comes from the other team as well. So I don't know what else you're doing on a Wednesday. There's no weather issues. I see people running with their shirts off down Nicolay. It's a great day, easy day to drive, no ice on the roads. Get your ass in your car, wear something green. We're giving away free T-shirts tonight with the old UWGB under lowercase logo, and get to the crest and be loud and watch some good hoop.
I love it. Doug, you can be seen and heard on Twitter at Gottlieb Show.
Mm-hmm.
And you eloquently said on Sunday, December 14th at 5:48 p.m., no! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. That was, of course, in regards to Micah Parsons. Can you tell us what was going through your mind as you were watching it all unfold and what you see happening with the rest of this Packers season?
Well, first thing is I was at a friend's house and at my buddy Scott's house, and these are all kind of like sports guys from all different backgrounds, and we're watching. And when you saw it, I mean, if you know anything, I've torn my ACL, you knew it right away. And this is after they finally called a holding call against the offense. It's like, wait, what? They got called for holding? And then, of course, he gets hurt. What I like most about Micah Parsons is he just plays hard. He just plays hard every play. And, I didn't know the defensive backfield was as shaky as it was. The reason I didn't know is because Micah Parsons had you getting rid of the ball early, right? When you lose, and I obviously talk about that with Anthony Roy, when you lose a guy who's that dynamic a player, yeah, of course, it's cliche to say everybody has to step up. But, I mean, really the challenge is now the entire defensive line has to play better because he commanded a double team and sometimes a triple team on every snap that you're trying to throw back and roll back and throw the football, right? He covered up so many of your weaknesses as a coach or as a teammate. So, yeah, I was like crestfallen because, all Packer fans are like, hey, we think we're good. Let's go for it. Front office right before the season said, let's go for it. Go out and get Micah Parsons. And he played just as you perceived he would play. Play hard, a little undersized, get after the passer, unbelievable energy, just kind of that indefatigable, I'm getting after you every snap guy. You lose that, combine that with Tucker Kraft and some of the other injuries, and you start to wonder, like, man, I thought this was the year. And it might just not be the year. You just might not have the horses for it. And can you overcome it? Like, yeah, you can still beat the Bears. You can still beat these teams. But there is a point where you get to the end of the season, when you get to the highest level of competition. And some of it is about who has their play, who's healthy, more than who's that good.
Doug Gottlieb joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports. You had one requirement for today's show. I texted you last night.
I didn't do it.
Good. Where's the clipboard?
I apologize. So in an effort to fill up my day even more, I'm giving you real inside stuff here, guys.
Nice. I love it.
So I've been up since about 4, going through.
Us too.
Can you imagine?
Going. No, I know, but
Yeah.
but if you knew my day last night, like we got 2 recruits on campus, it was a long day, and every day is a long day, right? As you guys know, when they start at 4, they people don't go like, hey, you're good, you can end it at 8. Like, no, that doesn't work that way. Anyway, so I was up at 4. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I saw your text. I have in like sequential order. I do a Wichita show. I don't know if you guys know my show's #1 in Wichita, so I do a Wichita show on Wednesday, once a week, and then I have to go to the DMV because I don't have a Wisconsin driver's license, and I actually had to pay a fine for a car that I don't have anymore because I didn't switch my license plate over or whatever. I don't know. Seriously, And when the officer, I got like 2 weeks to fix this thing. It was actually last year.
Yeah, I know. I told you I would put the plate on for you.
Okay, so no, the problem wasn't putting the plate on. The problem was in Wisconsin they give you a plate when you buy a car, then you have to go and get a different plate altogether. This seems very
registration.
Confusing. Yeah. Well, also it's like and then so when I didn't actually get pulled over.
Oh no!
Oh, we lost.
AG,
start over. You said you didn't get pulled over. We lost you there, buddy.
I didn't get pulled over. I got hit by a snowplow last year. So when I got hit by a school snowplow, the GB policeman. Remember, this is not the local police. This is the school police officer.
Yeah.
Rolls up and he's like, "Hey, how come you haven't gotten your license plate fixed?" I go, I honestly haven't had a second during business hours to get my car and drive, over to the other side of town to the DMV. He's like, "What do you mean you haven't had a second?" And so I literally took him through my day. And that was
what a can of worms.
Trevor, we're in the middle of losing 21 games in a row.
I know, the timing was awful.
And like people eviscerated me for spending a day off working at the Super Bowl, right? By the way, that was all during that time span. Like I literally, when I fly out at usually the 5:50 flight or the 6 a.m. flight from GRB, right? So there was 0 working hours where I had the opportunity to go down there, right? Meeting, practice, whatever, and then radio show, and you're done. You just don't have time. And he's like, "I don't believe that's your schedule." Like, ask somebody, dude. Anyway, so I'm making the whole switch. Everything is done, taken care of. I just have to bring like, I don't know, a power bill or something, and like 2 pieces of something, and maybe, and then I go and I'm gonna become officially a Wisconsin resident with a driver's license today. So I had some other things working, Trev, and then I'm like, clipboard, and while I technically had time, I could have done this interview from the car and walked in and grabbed the clipboard. There's a dead spot of about 30 seconds in my 4-minute drive to work. So I just wanted the production to be perfect for your guys' show, so I didn't.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Trevor's going to end up breaking a clipboard before you do, for the record.
I slammed the phone one down at Wright State. I wanted to against IUI. I'm like, what are we doing?
Held back.
I was thinking of Trevor. I was sitting there going like, man, I got to win this bet. Find my inner peace. I got to win this bet. So
I'm hoping you break one with me in attendance because I'm going to stare you down and be like, nice.
So there's the competitiveness of wanting to win the game, but it's like conflicting with the competitiveness of wanting to win a bet with you about how many clipboards I'll break this year.
That is so perfect, because we were talking earlier in the show on how we can get some of these Packers players to be more disciplined and not fly off the handle and get in an unnecessary penalty because they're chirping or chipping. Maybe we just got to make bets with them maybe if that works for
You
Doug
know-
Gottlieb, he wanted to slam it and he went, no, I want to win that bet.
Well, okay. So there is kind of a magic to it, okay? And it's like you want guys who play with that level of ferocity, intensity, and frankly swagger, right? They got to have some swagger. But then there's that invisible line there, and it's like you don't want to kill somebody's personality, especially if they're a baller. Like, dude, you want to foster that stuff. But there is a line there, and how do you get it to where there is that level of personal and then professional discipline? I actually feel for Matt in that sense, because like you're a coach, you're worried about all these other things and personnel groupings and matchups or whatever. You're like, what is he doing? And you're like, well, we want him to be a psycho. We just don't want him to be a psycho that gets penalized for being a psycho. It's hard.
Yeah, why is that so hard to understand?
I mean, I actually completely understand, because there's a moment in every game where I, on some level, lose my mind.
Every game.
Lose my mind. I'm like, did I just say that? Did I just do that? And it's just, again, it's a guy thing. It's why I understand. Like, look, we haven't talked about the Sharon Moore thing, right? Like, it's not okay what's happened. I actually am empathetic towards him, because I don't know if he's going to lose his family. I know he lost his job. I know he lost the respect of a lot of people. And obviously there's a lot more, I would guess, thought that goes into his actions and bad decisions. But again, maybe it's as a guy, maybe I'm making excuses for him. I don't know, but I can think of the bad decisions I've made in my life. And the decisions sometimes you make in a game. And that's really what you just have to kind of maintain your focus and take a breath and like, okay, I'm not going to lose my mind here, because if I do, then it doesn't help them. And then when you're playing, like it happens when you're playing too, where you're so hyped up, you're so hyper focused, something good happens, all that dopamine rushes, a mixture, it's like what a cocktail, right? Like dopamine, testosterone, oxytocin, all like go into your brain and go into other parts of your body, right? And you're just like, oh, and it's hard to be. I actually feel like, because you can't play football comatose, right? You can't play basketball. Like, you got to play at a certain level of energy, and sometimes you can't control it when you're a guy. I get that.
I love it. All right, one more, and then we got to let you go. Tell us about what went well at IU Indy and what you have to do tonight to beat UC Santa Barbara.
We scored more than one more point than IU Indy. That's what went well. No, I mean, I thought Ramel Bethea really, really helped us. And if you look at the stat sheet, it's not really telling. If people haven't seen him, he's the 29-year-old that everybody's talking about. And, he's been struggling. He's been up and down. And morning of the game, I woke up and their center is like a 6'7" white kid, left-handed, really crafty, great passer. And, he has all these kind of creative shots around the basket. So I just came up with the idea, like, let's just have Ramel guard him. That way we don't have to worry about helping off their shooters, right? He's a better rebounder than anybody we got. He's got long arms. And so they scored like 3 floaters to start the game over him. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? But slowly but surely, like, kind of figured it out. I thought Preston Rudiger came through for us clutch late yet again. And then, CJ O'Hara just continues to have his stock rise. And then LeBron Thomas, who's a junior college All-American, that's the best game he's played as a college player. He had 20. And really, it was a game made for him. They press. He's a human press breaker. He just dribbled through it with ease. We'll talk about the difficulty in getting the ball in bounds and some of the things we got to work on going forward. But I thought those 4 really did a good job. And we won, and Marcus Hall struggled again. And so did Justin Allen, right? Those are our 2 kind of best go-to scorers to this part in the season. So winning when you're not necessarily playing well, especially your best players, I think that's what we're building as a team. For tonight, got to defend 3-point line. They'll throw 4 3-point shooters out there. They can really, really shoot the basketball. They're a high-powered offensive team. And then inside, they have a kid, Katinga, who is, I think it's Hassan is his first name. He's 25. But unlike Ramel, he's played basketball for the last 6 years in college. He's coming off a torn Achilles tendon, so he doesn't have the lift he used to have. But he is a grown man. Like, and actually, we recruited him some last year. We didn't have that money. But he's a guy who he's actually from England originally, really nice human being. But on the court, he flips that switch. he's throwing dudes around. So they're at the 5 position, they're big and strong and rebound, and in every other position they can really score. So we got to decide we're going to defend. Can't really trick them with some zones or some junk stuff. Just got to get up and defend, and then I'm going to try and manipulate their defense, playing small some, playing big some, and try and find a way to find some points. What do we have to do? Got to make some shots. Got to have our best players play well.
And what you got to do first is go get in line at the DMV, brother.
I do. I gotta go. I gotta
Get
coffee waiting for me, and I'm gonna go. Are you coming tonight, Trevor?
I am there. 6:00, the Crest Center, UC Santa Barbara at RGB Phoenix. Absolutely.
Do you need tickets?
I do need tickets. Yeah.
You and the family? No, it's okay. You and the family, or here's the thing. I can get dudes tickets, and you're great about it. This is not for you. This is for everybody else who I know listens to your guys' show and then tells them about it. They text me at 4:15, for a 6:00 game. Hey, I love you, and I'll get it done, but just text me in the morning. I need some tickets, and we'll get it done. It'll be fine. My number one thing is getting people in the building. What?
I'll confirm with Amanda that if this is going to be an entire family or just me and my oldest. We'll see. I'll let you know before 4:15. I promise.
Is he gonna come ever? Are you just getting
He lives in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, first,
it's not like a foreign country. It's not like, oh my, hold on, I got to find my passport. I got to go from.
Well, I got to go to the DMV. I can't get pulled over on the way up there because and then if I have some cop and then I got to tell my whole day and how I got up at 4 and then how I got to get ready. It's tough. It's tough. No, I'll
get hit by a snowplow on that day, and then
okay. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Okay, if you can't, if you don't want to make the drive, then I think it's at Wauwatosa East. So our 2 in-state signees, MJ Koski, they won state championship last year, and Henry Grutzmacher, they play Friday night against each other. So you can see the future of GB basketball if you want.
There you go.
I love that. No, I'll be making it up there because there's a bet. There's a bet that I get to enjoy as well. So I'll be there for a game for sure. We'll get up there.
Fair enough.
It'll be good.
Happy Wednesday, man.
Happy Wednesday, buddy. We'll see you soon. I was going to say, keep your force under control. The force.
Yeah. I just, I'm a Jedi in training, and we moved.
Yep.
We moved the stools. I'm sure I'm going to show up tonight, and there's that stool right by the door, and there's going to be somebody's going to put a sign on it, please, coach, please don't
leave me alone. Happy Wednesday, buddy. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Doug.
Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We got to get out of this and get to Caitlin Sharkey from WGN. She's next. Inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm winded. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all, from WGN, but I remember her most from her WBAY days here in Green Bay, Caitlin Sharkey. Hey, Caitlin, thanks for coming on.
What's going on, guys? It was funny when I was in Green Bay a couple weeks ago for the game. Someone, like one of the security guards, were like, "Didn't you used to work at WBAY?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did." And they're like, "How long ago was that?" I'm like, 10 years. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been a minute.
I was going to say, our paths crossed a couple times, but it was 10 years ago, and I had hair. So good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I did. Josh,
Wow.
leave me alone.
Oh,
What'd that look like?
10 years
All right,
flies
so-
by.
It does. Are people in Chicago thinking this is still going to be a game this weekend, or are they already chalking it up to a win without Micah Parsons?
They're feeling good. They're feeling confident. And I think it's, a combination of two different momentum swings and mindsets right now. Obviously, things are very different for the Packers given what happened last Sunday. The Bears, of course, are coming off a great win, so they're feeling very confident. Caleb Williams, as his confidence continues to grow. So, he said yesterday he thinks in the first meeting he let them off the hook. The Bears let the Packers off the hook. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond Saturday night at home, given how close the last game was. And I don't think it was the Bears' best game, especially their best start a couple weeks ago against Green Bay. So it'll be a good one, but they're feeling confident. I will say that here.
So, Caitlin, the last time that you joined us, it was in previewing Packers-Bears round 1. And I asked you, how do you think this goes with the two matchups that they have? And you said, I think that they split. I don't think that either team wins both. And you said, I think the Packers will win this time and the Bears will win the next. I want to first say congratulations on being correct so far. Second, I absolutely hate that you could be right about the whole thing based on what happened in Denver. I want to know, just as you are talking to the team and analyzing things, give us Packers fans a little bit of hope. What is the current situation, or is there anything that Packers fans can look at with this Bears team and go, okay, well, they're still battling X, or they're still recovering from Y?
Yeah, I think obviously when I made that prediction, I didn't think it would be because they'd lose their star pass rusher and be in a very different situation. Yeah.
Might have been.
Don't put that on me.
Yep.
My family.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, my family in Wisconsin is just as devastated. I got a lot of texts watching that game and from friends here too that know where my where I got my start. I'll just say that. So I would say if you're looking for the silver lining as a Packers fan about this matchup, I would look at the wide receivers availability. I think there's a good chance we don't see Rome Odunze for another week. He re-aggravated his foot during warmups against the Browns. I felt like he maybe came back too soon. Ben Johnson's like, we have to protect Rome from himself. So it's sounding like Rome Odunze will not be there on Saturday. And Luther Burden is also on the injury report. He did not practice in the walkthrough. His status is a bit murky too. So if they're down two of their receivers, that obviously affects their offensive game plan. Count on them running the ball. So if it sounds easier said than done. If the Packers defense can just stop the run, manage to do that without a pass rush, without having Micah Parsons, they'll be all right. And Jordan Love has to take care of the football. I think this Bears defense does an incredible job of even they did it in the first meeting, making quarterbacks that don't typically throw interceptions, they find a way to get the ball in their hands. So be protective of the football, but I think potentially missing two wide receivers is not going to be great for the Bears passing attack. Coming against, it looked great last Sunday, but that Browns team is bad. So I'm not going to try to put too much weight into that.
Caitlin Sharkey joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports, WGN Channel 9. Caitlin, I get absolutely crucified on this radio station because I grew up in Southeast Wisconsin, and WGN was the only channel that we got with the basic cable package. Heaven forbid a kid watches a Cubs game or two. I talked about this 3 months ago, and they have not let me forget it.
He's a closet Cubs fan.
Shut your eye. But yet, this is a spot where we all in the industry strive to be, right? We all want to grow. And here in Wisconsin, doing what Josh and I are doing across the state of Wisconsin in morning drive, good gig. Yet you bounced around a little bit in Wisconsin before you landed there. So what was your time in Wisconsin like covering the Packers, and how did that set you up for success in Chicago? Big market.
I think it was pivotal in ending up in Chicago simply because the things I got to cover early on in my career. I mean, yes, I started in a smaller TV market in Wausau, Wisconsin, but I was still driving 90 minutes once a week and then to games to cover the Green Bay Packers. So when you're 22, 23, covering an NFL team from the jump, like this is year 13, I think, for me, which is kind of crazy. And then I was covering a really good team and then now a soon to be Hall of Fame quarterback. So all of those things kind of play into exposure and reps and opportunity. And, I was joking with the guys in the office yesterday. I was like, I want to cover Bears playoffs because I haven't covered playoffs in so long. And it used to be like the normal thing. Like when I worked in Wisconsin, it was like, don't make any plans till at least post February because there's always a chance they could always end up in the Super Bowl. Not the case here since I've moved here. I'm like, when January 15th, can I book a flight somewhere? So I think it's, the opportunities and just, working throughout the state too, you meet so many different people and it's such a great, I tell people all the time, like people ask me, students starting out, like, should I look at this market in Wisconsin or Milwaukee as an opening or Green Bay? I'm like, go. Absolutely. It is such an incredible opportunity. Sports cities, sports towns. It was everything in getting me here into Chicago.
And also, when you first left for Chicago, the Bears and the Cubs, they weren't really doing anything. So whenever, your hometown fans would see you post something, a lot of the responses were, yeah, we're just waiting for you to come home. Come on back home.
What are you doing down there?
About winners. And that's changed a lot this season. And not just with the Packers, but essentially 2025, because you went through the same thing with the Brewers and the Cubs, who obviously played one of their biggest games, biggest series that they've had ever, essentially, with it being, to go to the NLCS. And then now you have a chance not only for Packers, Bears, both that fight for the division, but there's a very good chance that these teams will meet again in the playoffs for that first round of the playoffs. How has that been different than that first part of your career being in Chicago, but not when the rivalries were this hot?
It's so much more fun now that the rivalries are this intense. And it was kind of like a joking thing. Even when I'd come to Wisconsin for a Cubs game or a Bears game, it was like, okay, we already knew the outcome. It was like, it was so one-sided that I was like, all right, it's not that funny. People would be like, oh, it's great that you're home. Now it's like, don't talk to me for the week. Like friends that are like,
yeah.
Oh, you think your Bears are going to win on Saturday night? I'm like, my Bears? These are not my Bears. Like, I work here. I cover this team. I get a paycheck. Like, I'm going to be home in Wisconsin, like 3 days after the game. Like,
no Christmas presents this year.
Yeah, like it's so different. And I appreciate it because it's much more heated now. But it's even with the Brewers and Cubs, it was such a weird, you're like, oh man. And then professionally, obviously, like I was just saying, it's great for me when a team does well because there's like a domino effect of that. But then it's hard because you're like, your family and friends are like, really? Like, really? Are they going to win? Like, I get the panic texts, and then I get, one of my photographers that I used to work with here at WGN texts me Saturday or Sunday in the third quarter of the game. Haven't talked to him in forever. He's retired. He's amazing. All the text says is, you guys are done. And I'm like, you guys are done. Like,
who's he referring to?
Who's your guy?
He's talking about the Packers. I'm like, hi, good to talk to you. Like, I laughed because it was hilarious.
Yeah, how are you?
So intense. He was like, you guys are done. I was like, wow, good to talk to you. Like, leave me alone. Let me watch this in peace.
I'm an unapologetic we guy. I always have been. I always will be. Right. And that's exactly where that comes from. It's you versus us, even though you have nothing to do with it.
No.
You were covering the Packers in 2016 when the quote run the table came through.
Oh, yes.
Less Bears, more Packers. How do they overcome what is on the dinner table right now for the Packers versus what it was like back then?
It seems like this one's harder. I don't know. I don't. I think because of the position that the rest of the division is in as well. Like it's so close, and I mean the fact that yes, there are playoff clinching scenarios this week, but a lot of things have to happen. I just don't, and I'm not saying all is lost, but you lose a player like Micah Parsons, like, even if his numbers don't show up in the stat sheet, and you guys know, like, the impact he just has on the game for the defensive coordinator or for the offensive coordinator, for the offensive players, like, just his presence alone, the way he plays the game. There was all this hype going. I remember the minute I found out they got Micah Parsons, like, he's just one of those players, so that's hard to come back from in this situation, and they're running into some hard teams. And now it's like you faced a red hot Broncos team, and now you're coming in with the Bears are full of confidence. They get to host the game. It's a little harder, but and Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Like when he said we're going to run the table in 2016, I would have believed anything that Aaron Rodgers said. I was like, all right, they're going to run the table. Like this is the quarterback. This guy's going to find a way to go out there and win the football game. Not saying Jordan Love can't do that, but it's just a different situation.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you just brought up, though. We've been talking about leadership on this Packers team. And even though Micah Parsons wasn't even there in training camp, it felt like he brought that. And to your point, when Aaron Rodgers, people might have been mad about his hair or, whatever he was doing. But when the man talked about football, people went, okay, like he's locked in, we're going. And Trevor and I aren't really sure that that's the same vibe that people get from Jordan Love. Nothing against his play, but just the way that he remains cool, calm, and collected doesn't give off that same aura as a leader of this team.
Yeah, it's just a different leadership style for sure. And, Rodgers, to his credit and maybe to his fault at times, like you believed what he said when he said those things, like we're going to run the table. But then you could see his absolute disdain when a receiver ran the wrong route or they weren't on the same page, where you could see that. Where Jordan, yeah, you see it at times for sure. Like anyone's frustrated, but you don't see that same juxtaposition of what leadership looks like sometimes. And that's not a knock on Jordan. He leads in his own way, and he's obviously a leader on that team. But I think, yeah, there's was one of those. Aaron is one of one. So I think in that situation in 2016, it was like, all right, if the quarterback says they're going to run the table, we better listen.
Get on board. All right. Do you make predictions?
Oh, yeah, she does. She sure does. Did it last time.
What was your prediction last time? I wasn't here.
I predicted the Packers would win last time.
Awesome.
So
And
unfortunately, that means this time around, I think the Bears beat the Packers. Not by a lot. It's not going to be, but I think the Bears take this one. I think Soldier Field's going to be rocking. These fans are excited to actually compete in the rivalry in prime time when their team is good. So I think it's just going to be one of those situations. They were chanting Green Bay sucks last week during the Browns game. They chanted everywhere in this city, but
yeah, it was at the Blackhawks game too. Jeez, will you tell people down there are other fish in the sea?
I tried to mention it softly one day to one of my friends that was born and raised here, and they're like, "Who cares? It's our thing." I'm like, "I'm just saying, at a Blackhawks game, it's just weird. Like, what are we doing?" So I don't bring it up anymore.
Nothing but the best for you this weekend, Caitlin Sharkey. And how do I put this? Nothing but the worst for you and your Bears.
Yeah, not my Bears. Right? They're not my Bears.
Your Bears.
Your Bears.
Don't put that on me. They're not my Packers and they're not my Bears. I'm just here doing my job.
If they face each other in the playoffs, we're going to call you again. Just a heads up.
Perfect. I'm right. I don't have a prediction lined up for that yet, so
That's true. We don't know that yet. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
Caitlin Sharkey, WGN. We appreciate you.
Thanks
guys. Have a good day.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. When we come back, what's up, Wisconsin? What are you doing tonight? Y'all know what I'm doing tonight. UWGB basketball. Josh, you got a thing or two going today, I'm sure.
Darn right I do.
Recording one of the 97 podcasts.
And
probably.
More.
And more. What's up, Wisconsin? We'll be back in a bit. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. What's up, Wisconsin? Josh, what are you doing?
All right. Got a busy day today. Obviously got the work stuff. I didn't realize that, I feel like it wasn't that long ago, a couple years ago, where you still had, at least 4 or 5 days before Christmas to order stuff, especially from Amazon, and get it. And it's today is the last day. It might have already been passed. It's crazy if you start looking at Amazon on when things can be delivered. It's that arrives before Christmas is not showing up as often. So I got to take care of some of that. And then I have a holiday work party here that's happening in town. And then I got bowling for first place in the first half of the season this evening. So jam-packed from the time we say goodbye to the time tomorrow morning.
Have a day.
Yeah.
Is it really the last day for Amazon? I think I'm screwed.
I'm telling you, it might already be passed. I was looking at some stuff I had saved in the cart, and it now it says December 29th. And I'm going, no.
I like waiting till the last minute. I also think that's a dude thing. I just enjoy the hustle and bustle of the shopping in the mall or wherever I go a day or so before Christmas. I love it.
It's also the ADHD thing, just so you know.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Procrastination?
It's because you want that dopamine payoff.
Did you see Doug earlier?
Oh, I'm making that into a
gift. I bet you are. As soon as I saw it and you went nuts, I'm like, oh, you're screwed. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Doug.
Recorded the pod yesterday for the pod release tomorrow for the Inside Wisconsin podcast. So I had to edit that today because a man of many hats when you own your own business.
Sure.
Hey, don't you have an editor? Sure don't. Who does the sitch? I do. Any other questions? Accountant? Yeah, me. Not great at it either. And GB game, of course, tonight.
Right.
UC Santa Barbara, Crest Center, UWGB, 6 o'clock. I will be there. I texted my wife. Are we going as a family? She said, call me after. And I'm like, uh-oh.
That means that there is complications.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've listened to this show or not, Josh, but
yeah,
if there's a complication in the calendar, 100% of the time, it's my fault.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious which of your kids has a basketball game tonight that you forgot about.
None. That would be, oh my God, it's unclicked. Hold on. Basketball. Okay, it's just practice. We're good.
Okay.
Oh, that was
I was going to say, man, if this happens again.
God. Can't get out of my own way sometimes. Wisconsin, what are you up to tonight? 414-677-1250. Somebody just texted in, Josh, very much enjoyed Caitlin's interview.
Yeah,
she's
Caitlin's
the best.
I love
she
her
is
so
the
much.
best. Our thanks to her for joining us yet again today to talk Bears-Packers. Hopefully, are we wishing for the Bears in the playoffs?
Well, that's the way that I was looking at it. It's not even really about, unless one of the two teams has a monumental collapse, it's not even about Packers-Bears in the playoffs. It's just about where that game's being played. Is it being played in Chicago or is it being played back up at Lambeau? And that will be decided on Saturday.
Yuck. Gross. Mm-hmm. I don't want to play them again. It's hard to, man, I am foiled about that. That bothers me. I don't like that at all. I don't want to play a team 3 times. I think it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. I'm not guaranteeing a win this weekend. I'm just saying 2 or 3. Yeah, too much. 3's a crowd. That was our show today, though. 3's a crowd. Guest-A-Palooza.
Yep.
When Josh and I text back and forth about guests, if we end up with 3 in one show, Guest-A-Palooza.
That's what it is.
That was what we had today. Tune in tomorrow. A guest and not a palooza. The one and only Joe Thomas joins us tomorrow.
Yes.
She mentioned how much the Browns suck. Mm-hmm. So we're going to ask him about that.
Well, and there was something else going on in the news regards to Joe Thomas and the Bears. Can't wait to talk to him about that as well during Packers-Bears week round 2.
You asked that question first. He kind of scares me. That dude is ripped.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he scared me even more before.
Cold plunges, beef. It's his life. Cold plunges and beef.
Yeah, it's a hell of a statement.
All right, so tune in tomorrow for that. Joe Thomas on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Our thanks to Bill Schrader, former Packers wide receiver, for jumping on with us this morning. Lots of insight from Bill on this year's team. A lot of those guys don't stay up to date on the teams. He does, clearly. And also, as always, our thanks to Doug Gottlieb for joining us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. That's every Wednesday, pending one of these times when he's not able to make it. But every night before,
he
gets a confirmation
from his
text.
office, from the couch, from his house, or from the bus. He's joining us.
He's joining us. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.